Hi friends, I am starting on a new project. This is a custom order, very exciting. And so I wanted to kind of introduce you to some of the materials that I'm going to be working with. I went ahead and I ordered a scrapbook pack called Easy Rider. This journal is for a wonderful lady, and she is the grandma of 3 beautiful grandchildren. And her grandson likes motorcycles, and she asked if I would do a journal with that theme, and I said sure. And then I asked if there was anything else that he liked, and she said his favorite color was orange. So I went and I got this shirt. It's, as you can see, it's got a lot of orange in it. It's also got blue. I don't know how it's translating on camera. It looks maybe like it's black on camera, but this is much brighter than what my camera is showing. So that's kind of cool. So we're going to be using this, I believe, on the inside cover, because let me show you what's going to be the cover is this beautiful piece of real leather. So that's going to be the outside cover, and then this will go on the inside of it, and we will be working some other orange elements. But what's great about this paper pack, and just let me make sure you guys know what it is in case you were curious, it's by Reminisce, and I did get it from Amazon, so just so that you know that. So here are some of the images from it. So it's front and back, and you can see there is some orange in this paper pack, which is absolutely perfect. Then there's some black and white, which I think is great because you can mix any color you want with it. We've got, this one doesn't have orange in it, but it's nice and green and a lot of black and white, so that's great. And then I already, as you can see, I made my 3 signatures, and they're not sewn together or embellished or anything. I just wanted to show you some of the paper. So look at this one, it's beautiful. And I think I used this as a center spread in one of them because it's just fantastic. This is a piece that I added. This is not part of the collection. This is part of the collection. And let me get to the next one. There's a piece in here that wasn't part of the collection either. Let me show it to you. This black wood is not part of the collection. That's a piece I added. I wanted each signature to have a minimum of, let's see, let's count here, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, which is equivalent to 4 by 4, 16. So that's 16 pages per signature. So that's pretty good. This is not part of the collection, and this is not, but look how well it works with this page. So I thought that was great. And then, yeah, I used this as one of the center spreads because I thought it was perfect. He also likes camping. So as I'm creating this, I'm hoping to be able to add, and I know that I will, add some camping elements to it. You know, it could be kind of like, you know, hopping on the motorcycle going camping, although he's young for that. But like in his little dream, I don't know. But anyway, this is what we're going to start with, and I wanted to introduce that to you. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get into sewing signatures or anything like that, I want to make these pages so they're not white. So that's what we're going to get into today. Okay, so to plan the layout of this page, this is how it's going to look. So when you first open the journal, this will be the first thing you see, which I think is perfect because it's orange and it's a motorcycle. So I think that's great. Then when we open up to the second page, this is how it would look. So I'm thinking this is a great page to introduce camping. So I'm going to go ahead and use these 3 images and kind of do a collage look on the white, and that'll, you know, that'll get rid of the white page. And I'm deciding if I'm tearing or cutting, but I really feel like I want to tear. So that's what we'll do. And then if there's any white marks that we don't like, we'll just go over it by inking, and that'll take care of that. As a matter of fact, I might want to ink this center part because, you know, I don't like to get papers in here. All right, friends, I have grabbed the Truffle Espresso. So that's going to be a very dark brown. It's almost black. This is a makeup sponge that I'm using. I don't have the daubers like, you know, that people use for their inking, but this seems to work fine. And you know, probably someday I'll go ahead and get a dauber. I think that's what they're called, but this is working out just fine right now. So like I said, I'm doing the center so that, because I don't like to pull the paper too close to the center because it can get like bunched up in there, and I don't like that at all when that happens. So we are just gonna put some color in this way, and then what'll happen is the paper will cover it. And I'm gonna tear the paper, so we're not gonna have, the only straight edges we'll probably end up having should be right on the actual page edges. And I think, especially because this is gonna be a more masculine book, I like the tearing, although I tear I use tearing method in so much of my work. It doesn't have to be masculine, but I'm just saying that because this will have more of a masculine feel, I think that the tearing will go especially well with it. Now I don't want this to be a perfect tear, so what I'm going to do is I'm holding the page right on the edge here. I'm holding this page on the edge of the other page, but I'm going to purposely not tear it straight because I want it to have movement in it. And actually, I'm going to go, before I adhere that down, I'm going to go ahead and ink those edges so there's no white. Now sometimes I leave the white edge. It just depends on the look that I'm going for, you know, for what I'm working on for the project. This looks nice and smoky. I like it. And this is going to go right in the corner. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks great. That's pretty cool. So go ahead and adhere this on. Friends, I have placed a napkin here just because, you know, when I press down on this, sometimes the glue comes out of the edges, and I just didn't want it to get on my mat. So that's what you're seeing here. So as I was working on this and looking at it, I was then getting ready to kind of put this on here somewhere, and then as I was looking at it, I was thinking to myself, that would make a really cool pocket. Now I don't usually put my pockets on this soon, but I think it's perfect, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to trim this up, and I'm going to fold this over. I like to have a nice strong edge, so I like to fold it over, and then that way when tags go, paper or tags, whatever goes in and out, it doesn't tear. It just gives it a nice strong edge. And then also when it comes to pockets, I typically like to fold the corner down. And I'll tell you why I do that. For one, it does give strength because now we're doubled up again. But also, sometimes when the pocket is straight across, it's hard to get the tag in and out. But if you have a little leeway here in the corner, you can kind of like put it in like that. And it just seems to make it easier. Now, looking at how I folded it, we have a little spot here that we can't have that. We can't have that like that.
No, we can't have that.
Let's... All right, we have fixed that problem. We have taken a piece of the same paper. I went ahead and I added some inking to this edge, put it on there, and now, and it's nice and flat. I used my Aleene's tacky glue. And now when we put our pocket on, it is going to be perfect. When I add stickers to books, I do like to add some glue just for longevity. I mean, we're looking at this journal as being a piece that will be kept for several generations, and so we want to make it with as much integrity as possible. I'm going to add a little more inking to the edge here. So you see how it's dark in some places? I wouldn't want that feeling in every journal, but I love it on this spread and I love it in this journal. We're going for a very specific feeling here. To me it looks kind of smoky, which I think is cool. I need a little bit more here. You can see how it's kind of light right there, so we're going to add a little more. All right, friends, let's see how this is gonna look. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So when we look at page 1, of course, this page has not been embellished yet. These are the basics that we're working on right now. So when we flip over to page 2, I love this. I love how this piece goes with this piece, and they did not come in a paper pack together. This was just a piece that I got from, somewhere in my paper stacks. And then this is a piece I've had for a very long time, and it works so well. So then when we open that, and then there'll be more pages inside here, but then when we get to where these match up, we've got this. So I am very happy how all of this works together. This is our second signature. Like we did our first signature, that one page that we had to do, we're going to go ahead and ink the edges. In case you didn't know, I wanted to let you know that when you go to separate a napkin, if you use 2 small pieces of tape, and I always just go for a corner and put the tape on the napkin in opposite directions, and then you can just pull the napkin apart. It's also a great way to see if there are 2 or 3 layers. So if you try it again on the napkin, it might pull apart a 3rd layer. Now this black napkin only had 2 layers. All right, friends, I have glued a black napkin onto this page, and now what I'd like to do is tear the napkin away from the page. That will give it a nice rough edge. It'll give it a lot of texture, and I'm definitely going for texture in this journal. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. I will touch up just this spot here. I'll add a little ink to that, but otherwise I think we are in good shape. Chances are this little spot here will get covered by a pocket, but since we're not sure how we're designing this page, we'll just go ahead and cover it up with a little stamping. There, perfect. I wanted to mention that I was hoping for wrinkles in the napkin, so when I put the glue down, I just put this down like this, as not to pull it straight apart, and that way I would get some wrinkles. And now that the wrinkles are there, now we can go and press down, make sure there's no air bubbles or anything like that. I wanted the wrinkles because I like the texture. And generally speaking, when I'm working with napkin, I enjoy when wrinkles end up in it because it does give it texture. And it just gives it an older feeling too. It's just kind of interesting. This glue is going to be a little fresher than this down here, so I'm going to start down here. We're just going to pull away just like we did before. And then if we have any spots that are light like that, we'll just go back in with our stamp. Real nice jagged edge on that. That looks great. Love it. Okay, so now there's just a few light areas. You know, I kind of like them light, but I don't want it to look unfinished. So I'll go ahead and darken them up. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. That looks pretty neat. So, okay, that was fun. You know, plain black napkin, and that has a pretty cool effect. So, you know, don't hesitate to use plain napkins too. All right, let's get back to, let me figure out what's upside down. Okay, so this is where we're supposed to be. Oh, there's a little spot there. It's just a little bit light for my taste. Okay, Now when we open it up, we've got this and then this. So thinking about this spread, let me see what comes next. Oh, I love that. That looks great. All right, so these are the only ones that we have to turn from white to something other than white. All right, guys, I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I think that's really cool. And even though it's black and white, it really works. So we've inked around here. So I think what I'll do, since we've inked around it, I got two choices. I can tear this paper and ink it, or I can keep it nice and crisp. And you know, I'm feeling like on this one, I wanna keep it nice and crisp. So I'm just gonna take a little off the top, probably actually this just with my scissor, and then a little off the side with my paper cutter here. We've got that on the page. I think that that looks really cool. And again, remember, we're just doing page prep, so we're not embellishing yet. Here we go. All right, so we need to go ahead and finish this page. I have this and I really like it, and I think it provides an opportunity to to kind of blend well with the black. Here, if you look, there's some cursive writing, kind of an old-fashioned look as this has. This is not a motorcycle, but of course it's a bike. I think it's good. I think it's fine in a journal like this. So we're gonna go ahead and use it. I'm gonna have to trim off the edges so that, you know, like I always say, I don't like it too close to the edge here. So I'll do a little trimming here. I probably will not trim the top or the bottom because I will put some sort of pocket on this. And as a matter of fact, I don't want to lose the bicycle. So I'll have to think about what kind of pocket I want to use on this. All right, here we are. This page is now prepped. And then the last one we already did. I think that looks pretty cool next to each other. And so now we are on to the last signature. And actually I'm gonna keep that up on the table because when we move into the last signature, these two will be next to each other. So when we get to the point of embellishing, I'll probably move some yellows and oranges into this page. Easy to do. So I don't need to worry about that anymore. Let's check this out and find some blank papers. So we've got one here. Okay, so we just have the one. And all right, so on this one, it's got a lot of orange and yellow. And I kind of wanted to use this, but I don't think that's gonna work. So we're not gonna end up using that. And let me see, this is a piece of fabric that I wanted to use in here also. Let me see if it worked better on the other side. So here, oh, okay, well it might work over here. Let's take, oh yeah. Okay, so we will use this for this page. And then for this one, let me look through my little pile of goodies and see what we've got. Okay, so I've got some ideas for this one, but since I know I want this here, I'm gonna do this one first. So I'm gonna do like we did on all of the other pages, and we're gonna go ahead and ink up all the edges and knock that out. I'm doing it the same exact way. I'm gonna go ahead and use my makeup sponge and my ink. Also, I've decided to use some Distress ink, and this is ground espresso, but as you can see, it has a little more yellow in it than the other ink. And since the page next to it has a little more of that orangey yellow, I thought this would be nice. And also, I'm considering infusing a little bit of green ink into it. So once I get this on, we'll play with that a little bit, like maybe on the corner, and see if we like it, because actually on one of these pages I'd like to get more of the camping feeling and theme into it. So I think if I infuse with a little bit of green, it will be nice. So guys, when I'm creating, I like to give shout outs to people when they have given me something in a happy mail or, you know, something like that. And I always try to do that. You know, sometimes I'm gonna forget, but but I always do try to do that. So my point of telling you that is that this green ink that I have was given to me by Pam of Pam's Paper Place. And so I always want to give her a big thank you for that. So thank you, Pam. So we're going in now and we're just gonna put a little green in the corners. Whoops. I don't have orange, but I don't think we need it. We have enough brown in the Distress Oxide, so I don't need to worry about the orange so much. I do like the way this green is you know, going into the corners. It looks pretty cool. Using the same sponge, I just folded it to the other side. Here we are. So I have to say, for, you know, getting this page started, this looks pretty cool. All right, here's our fabric. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that with fabric tack. And then over here we'll do a pocket, so it's gonna cover this, so I'm not worried about that. Both sides of this fabric seem to be the same, so I don't think it matters which side I glue it down on. Okay friends, I know that this is bright, but I'm gonna take a chance and I'm gonna put it on this page because my friend Carol, and I'm gonna call her USA Carol, she gave me some fabrics and I would like to work this fabric into this particular spread. But I think I'll use it as a pocket down here. And then I'm thinking I'll have this here, but then obviously there will be some other embellishments. And I think what I'm gonna do is tear it. Like right now it just looks so in your face, but I think if we tear it, so let's tear all sides. I need to tear with my right hand. Goes a little quicker. Okay. And then we're gonna tear this edge. And I might have to tear that again because that got pretty close. Let's see, yeah, that's a little, well, it's a nice edge. We'll do this one. Now we're gonna tear the top and the bottom. Now the question is, do I want to put, I like the straight edge right here. I like the rough edge over here. Do I go around it with this or the darker? But you know, we can start with this and then add the darker one. Actually, this might look really good because this is a little bit lighter. So let's do that. And yes, I'm using the whole stamp pad to do it because it's just easier sometimes. And so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I like that. That looks really cool. Friends, that is it for prepping the pages. In our next video, we will begin embellishing them. Thanks for watching. See you soon.